Trump considers major pivot on China tariffs. Guys, I don't know what type of pivot we're going to be looking at here. Based off of within the last week, we went from 245% in some fields to 3,521% in solar and electric. Okay, so I hear you. But how much of a pivot? I mean, are we going to go 20,000%? Guys, what's happening here? But either way, in the meantime, this is a suggestion via Discord. Let's jump into it.
So the White House is expected to hold more high-profile talks with South Korea today as the president signals he may de-escalate tariffs on China to ease tensions, maybe take them down a little bit.
Lucas Tomlinson is live in Washington with the details for you. Hey, Lucas.
Well, good morning, Steve Ainsley and Brian. Brian, I hope you got some sleep last night after that late night. China signaling it's open to talks, correct, but warned it will not negotiate under continued pressure from the White House. And President Trump threatened to move forward with levying some tariffs on countries in the coming weeks, absent new trade agreements.
Vietnam, Cambodia, Malaysia.
In the end, I think what's going to happen is we're going to have great deals. And by the way, if we don't have a deal with a company or a country, we're going to set the tariff over the next 2-3 weeks. We'll be setting the number, and we're going to pick, could be for China too, could be for China.
As you mentioned off the top, the Wall Street Journal reports the Trump administration is considering slashing its steep tariffs on China by as much as in half in an effort to de-escalate tensions. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, however, says Trump has not offered to take down tariffs on China on a unilateral basis.
China's current economic model is built on exporting its way out of its economic troubles. It's an unsustainable model that is not only harming China, but
it's harming the world.
The entire world.
Yeah, by undercutting
China
everyone's ability to work.
And here's White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt at the White House yesterday.
Marriage actually worked because China hasn't made any concessions at all.
Not yet.
Have some patience and you will see.
Yeah, guys, the citizens are absolutely struggling, specifically the ones who have been functioning off of about $140 to $280 on a monthly basis, guys. These individuals are now realizing that they cannot work in these factories because these factories are not able to actually export. Enough of these people come around, okay? It's a communist government. Xi Jinping is only in power exclusively if he can offer, work and like growth, let's say, to the people. That's it. So that's what's holding him there. So yeah, give it some time. Let him sit in it for a little bit. And they'll realize that the people are now going to be revolting, guys. The reality. Then they'll come to the table.
Fox News poll shows only 33% of voters approve of Trump's tariff plan. More than a majority, 58%, disapprove. And a dozen Democrat-led states have sued the Trump administration over the tariffs, arguing the president does not have the power to impose them. They say only Congress has the power to legislate tariffs. In Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution, it does say that Congress shall have power to lay and collect duties, taxes, imposts, and excises, guys.
This is true. But like, I mean, come on, guys. Then why have we not won yet?
That's right, Lucas, but the Republican-led leadership would have to bring about that kind of stuff, and they're not really likely to do that.
No.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Good job, Lucas.
Thank
They're
you.
not.
A lot of tension in London because I think things are coming to a head. I think you have the Ukrainians, you have the Germans, you have the UK, obviously, then you have the US.
France,
and, France, and the Secretary of State says, I'm not going to go, and Woodcock says, I'm not going to go. He's upset that Zelensky's making a hard stance saying, I'm not going to give up Crimea, and I don't blame him. If things like that happen, and it's hard to imagine Russia backing off the territory that they have, although they've agreed to back out of some areas of Kharkiv.
Yeah, but not Crimea.
They're never going to acknowledge, it's very typical at the end of conflicts, acknowledge the stolen land, which was literally stolen in 2014, and they expanded it again with an invasion a couple of years later. So you could still have Russia in Crimea and have a deal. But for Zelensky to come out and go, yeah, we're giving up on that, that's never going to happen, even though it could be the end result. Because in the back of their minds, down the line, there might be something where Ukraine gains power or Russia gets a sane leader, and they realize they should not have stolen to begin with. Well, we're going to be talking about that throughout the morning, but going back to what...
That's actually a fair statement.
But Lucas was talking about internationally, once again. It is good that the president is softening his stance on China, and it makes it sound like something is going to be happening. And that's really good. But you've got to wonder why exactly he's doing that. Keep in mind,
what he's doing is really hard, trying to realign global trade balances. And Peter Navarro promised 90 deals in 90 days, and that's really hard to do. That only leaves 11 weeks to get a lot of stuff done. You've got to think that the president probably is looking at the numbers. And Lucas just talked a little bit about a brand new Fox News poll that shows that tariffs are unpopular with the American public. 72% of Americans say that the tariffs are making things more expensive. 55% say they are hurting the economy, and 44% say they are hurting jobs. And when it comes to one other number, when you look at the S&P 500, it has gotten off to the worst start of any presidency.
I'm gonna give you that.
Going back to 1928, which is when they started keeping records. You've got to figure that you got somebody like Peter Navarro pushing for the tariffs, and then you've got Scott Bessent and Howard Lutnick, who are saying, okay, we've got to keep in mind the markets and people are getting hurt.
Well,
Yeah, guys, when it comes down to the S&P 500 or like QQQ, Invesco, like any of these like overall ETFs and things like this, guys, when presidents get into office, all right, almost on average, their goal is to create a manufactured crisis. And we have multiple manufactured crises that are basically dropping the stock prices and share prices of things so people can jump in at a cheaper like kind of market rate for the most part. So then everything then ends up basically calming down, and then the rich get richer and then richer and richer and richer. Basically, the people who were the donors for the president that is currently elected, guys. That's normally how that works here. I hear you, right? But just give it some time. Everything basically bounces back all the time.
the administration is
In
saying
terms of
that
the
these
market.
discussions are fluid, that there are several options on the table. The president yesterday, he was out on the White House lawn. He was out there to find a good location to erect this new huge American flag. He's going to put one on both sides, the north side and the south side of the White House. And then he was talking to the press and just saying that this is all fluid. There are options on the table. These tariffs for China are very high. They're going to come down. But then Beijing is warning that it's not going to negotiate under the continued threats from the United States. So Trump is softening his stance. Maybe Beijing will come to the table because they're not being as threatened as they were before, and maybe we'll come to an agreement.
Couple of things. Scott Bessent's all in on the tariffs. He was all in on the tariffs when he was just a nominee and a thought about becoming Treasury Secretary. And what he's trying to say is, along the way, don't light up Jay Powell because it hurts the market. Don't say things that are going to hurt the market temporarily because you can affect it. The main goal is happening. He's restructuring trade relationships for the future. And it was always a way to approach this was hit him hard with tariffs, reorganize, especially as Kevin Hassett said last night. He said, he goes, keep your eye on what's happening with India. We were getting, there was such an imbalance with India, and it's already, we already have a framework to fix it. An imbalance with South Korea, a framework to fix it. Japan, they're working out the details now. There's always been an imbalance. So along the way, that's why the 100-day poll should not even matter. Not only is he not running for re-election, when you try to do major things, when you disrupt things, obviously people are going to be upset. But in the big picture, if things come together and we reorganize these relationships with friends and foes, especially with China, the whole country benefits. You know what? Trump's the next 4 years are going to be even better and more even than these 4 years or in the next 2 years. And I would keep something else in mind. TikTok. TikTok is flooding the #1 app. The 100 million people are getting it with anti-American, pro-China, sympathetic stories and opportunities to go directly to manufacturers to buy things. So not only do you have the press against Trump every single day of the week, now you got the #1 social media app owned by China subtly putting into your algorithm negative things about the U.S.
I thought they couldn't do that, guys. Remember all the people who were basically, standing up for TikTok pretty hard, guys. They were standing up hard, guys. No, China doesn't have any say in what goes on with TikTok, bro. What are you talking about? It's a Chinese company, right? Right? Like, do you know how businesses work out there?
How you're bullying China, how you're being mocked.
It's an arm
They're
of the
using
government.
AI images to show the vice president with eyeliner on and the president showing he doesn't know what he's doing. So just keep in mind, when you look at your algorithm, they're not responding to you. They're being controlled by China.
Brian, I don't know what your algorithm is, but all I've got on my TikTok is cat videos and things with cute grandkids.
You got to see that.
Oh, that's That's a weird statement there. So, the cats, I mean, sure, you like cats, but little kids? I don't know. That's a weird one. Either way, that's not the point here. Listen, I definitely would like, this is kind of off topic, but it's kind of around the same topic here. We need to go back to when like subscribers mattered, right? Like, don't get me wrong here, they definitely matter still to a certain extent, but not what they used to. So, for example, whenever you would post a video, it would immediately alert every single one of your previous subscribers. It would immediately do so, guys. Nowadays, it doesn't do that at all, right? So it's like, listen, the last video you watched is basically going to populate what you watch. I think that was a better social media like experience more so than now, even though they say it's for the concept of experience. So if you watch one singular video, now your algorithm is going to be exclusively filled with the last thing you watched, because now they're like, oh, that's all you care about. So then that's it then. So all the people you subscribe to, that doesn't matter. I would definitely highly suggest on a moderately regular basis, specifically if you do follow someone, go through your subscriber lists and just like, reset it, if that makes any sense. Like, go back and be like, oh, I haven't seen this person in a while. Let me go ahead and see what they're up to, see if they're still posting, right? I think that's the way to, you can at least have the old experience of social media back. I do think that there should be an ability to opt out, let's say, from it, but all these social media platforms are trying to keep you on their platforms as long as humanly possible, and that, I think, is in fact what is ruining the planet. I'd say I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go on the ledge here and say that that's probably what is creating these echo chambered conversations that people have. Like, there are a lot of people who still have no idea why Trump won. They have no idea. You know why? Because on their social media, all they see are the people that, this previous guy here was speaking about. Like, that's it. That's all they see. How can there be so many people? Because, bro, you're stuck in an echo chamber. Like, you can't escape it. And the algorithms on any social media platform that you're engaging in is specifically creating that echo chamber for you. You have to like regularly watch a video that you would never want to watch, or go back to your subscription lists and check out the channels that you used to watch that you haven't seen in a long time, and watch like one or two videos. Reality of 2025 social media, right? But all right, listen, guys, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly.